Papa complaining about how expensive kids sports is. He would have never complained about this 5 years ago. So this is Brendan Schwabi on TFATK episode number 1155, complaining about how much kids sports costs. Like I said in the caption, I feel like this is something Brendan would have never complained about a few years ago, when he was rolling in the money, when he was right next to Rogan, when he was Rogan's right hand man, best friend, all the big guests coming on TFATK. I don't think you would have ever heard him complain about the money that it costs. But can I also make it known here? Please note, my dear listeners, please note, my dear viewers, I find it very interesting, observation wise, how Brendan doesn't ever complain about the price of cars, doesn't ever complain about the price of car parts, doesn't ever complain about the price of modding, the price of labor, garages, all this stuff, the price of trainers, the price of the numerous different baseball caps he wears. But he seems to have an issue spending money on his children. Beast of a dad, by the way, beast of a dad seems to have an issue with how expensive kids sports is, but buys 1 million cars, does 1 million renovations and mods on these cars, and never really mentions the money. Interesting.
In like kids sports, like travel ball and all that shit. When travel ball, it's just not baseball. There's travel basketball, football. Like Tigers in travel football and baseball. There's travel football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, volleyball, gymnastics, cheerleading. And you're like, how did this happen? So kids sports, a year is worth more than the NFL and NBA combined. It's like a $42 billion business.
Kids sports.
Wow. And you look who's behind it. It's all businessmen. It's all just, you see the companies that bought it. Yeah, it's all business. It's so fucked up. The average has gone up 15% month to month for kids to play sports now. It's gone up to $1,000 minimum a month for your kid to play sports now.
$1,000
$1,000 a month.
That's a lot of money, man.
A ton of money for your kid to play travel ball.
Jesus.
And then what they do is, then let's say your kid's playing in Cooperstown or in Omaha. Well, now as a parent, you got to pay, right, for the kid to go, but then also for you to go. And so then the hotels there, which they own, you have to stay there.
They own those
hotels. Now that the rates go up 20-fold and you have to stay there. So they're just getting their money, man.
But do you have to go as a parent? Like, do you actually have to go? When I was playing sports and I was a kid, maybe it's because I grew up poor and I grew up in the fucking hood and shit. You did all this stuff by yourself. Very seldomly do I remember times where our mum or dad drove me to a game or took me to, like, drove us to a game. We usually always went together, me and my little brothers, or you went with your friend and stuff. You rarely your parents took you. Really, usually the parents that went to watch their kids play sports, or the ones that took them to play sports, were usually the rich kids. And even the rich kids will be like, no, mum, like, I want to go with my friends. I don't want to go with you, you know? So, but maybe it's different. Maybe American culture is different. Maybe because they're young as well. I think his kids he's talking about, they're like 12, maybe. But whenever I played sports, you never really went with your parents. You kind of went with your friends.
It's such a business. It's heartbreaking.
It's called a racket. One of the things that you see on Instagram sometimes is a professional, a guy who made the majors and sends them. He got signed by the like Royals or something, and his big contract. And his parents are modest people who worked their ass off, and he wrote him a letter for Christmas saying, I know how much you sacrificed. I know what
he's older now.
I know what you went without. I know all of what you did. And the mother's trying not to cry, and he goes, and so he paid off their house and all their bills.
It's the least you can do.
It's the least you can do.
What the fuck?
Right?
I keep a tally for Tiger. All right, when you make it, this is.
I mean,
I charge interest, Bubba.
So yeah,
powerful bunch.
Big up.
12K a year. Sell your Freddy Krueger's Baba. That'll cover about 3 years. Unless you got the Taobao specials.
Exactly. They're definitely the Taobao specials. They're definitely the Lin, the Amy factories, They're definitely if you know, the Lin and the Amy factories. They're definitely the Taobao specials. But I don't know. Just observation. I do find it interesting. I don't think I've ever heard Brendan complain about the prices of sneakers. I don't think I've ever heard him complain about the prices of Ford F-150s. He might complain about the time it takes to get the mod done, how long it takes for a particular part to get delivered, what garage he's working with. He might mention that, but I've never actually heard him complain about the price of a truck that he bought in auction, the price of a fucking upholstery refit, you know, an interior redesign, you know, an engine swap. Like, oh, he's done a couple engine swaps on these cars. I've not heard him mention that. Transmission, you know, fucking update or upgrade. Never heard him mention the price and the problem with it, but heard him complain about, oh yeah, these American made quad bikes are too expensive, so I get one from Walmart. My kids' baseball, $1,000 a month. Oh my god, don't get me wrong, it's expensive, but shouldn't money be no object to your kids? Why are you penny pinching or watching the money with your kids, but when it comes to your hobbies, you just like splash amazing amounts of cash? Interesting. Anyway, next clip. Hold on, what you said? The parents, big up the Shades on the comments. Big up Shades Cow in the stream chat. Wagwan G. The parents are in one section with their blankets and cocoa. The kids are wandering around having fun, but you're nowhere near your parents. Yeah, true. My dad took me to every practice and game I ever had, and one of the few good things he actually would do as parent. Big up Josie. No, I didn't grow up with my parents taking me to games, but whenever me and my brothers do reminisce on the old times when we went to games, we do remember fondly the times when, you know, my mum would go, like the first time my mum would drove us to a football match, and she was on a motorway. You know, mums are very careful drivers, and we were making noise in the car and making her nervous. She got angry. We always remember how mad she got in the car while on the motorway driving like at 60 miles per hour, you know? So yeah, those moments we remember, but largely when I went play sports as a kid, like your parents were never there. Big up Apex Putter, Bapper getting worked. Big up B Mallory, parents go to games but definitely not to practice. Big up Beef Apocalypse, maybe more expensive in the area. Kylan Pseudo intellectual wise man stick is awful.